A lot of you ask me how I write such powerful prompts to get amazing results from ChatGPT and other AI tools. My old method was a long back and forth conversation, but honestly, sometimes that just takes too much time. So I built another way. A custom GPT that acts as my personal prompt expert. This tool, the prompt blueprint, is the key to getting a detailed result like this instead of a generic one like this. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to build it, and I'll even give you my full instructions. So let's get started. Now from the ChatGPT homepage, you're going to go to the left side panel, and where you see Explore GPTs, you're going to click that button. Now just an FYI that building a custom GPT from scratch is a feature that's only available if you're on the paid plan. All right, so at the top right hand corner of the page now, you're going to click on Create, that button there, and that brings you right into the builder ready to start. Okay, so now that we're in the GPT builder, you're going to see two tabs at the top. Create, right here, and Configure. Now the Create tab uses a chat to build the GPT, a back and forth conversation, which can be less precise and a bit slow. Now the Configure tab lets us input everything directly, giving us much more control, which is what I always prefer for a more professional result. So I'm going to click on Configure. Now at the top right here with the circle, you have the option to upload a display image, or you can use DALL-E to generate one. So I'm just going to select DALL-E to generate it. Hey, the image actually looks pretty good. It's blue, which is perfect for Blueprint. Okay, so now I'm going to name the GPT. So I'm going to put the prompt Blueprint. Next, I'm going to add the description. So I'm going to put your expert partner for architecting powerful, detailed, and effective AI prompts. Now for the most important part, the instructions. This is where we tell our GPT what it needs to do and we give it an identity. So I'm pasting the full instructions that I've perfected for this GPT. Now let me show you why this prompt is so effective. First, I give it a core identity and mission. I tell it that it's the prompt blueprint. Giving AI a specific expert persona like you are a world-class speaker is a hack I use all the time to get better results. Next, I give it an operational philosophy where I talk about context, the importance of building a detailed scenario before responding, structure, the fact that it should break down a complex task into clear logical steps, and the importance of the output and all of that. And most importantly, I give it the prompt architecture process, a clear 4-step process that it should follow every single time. Now, don't worry about trying to write this prompt down because I'm going to give you a link to access a copy of it. All right, so now let's come up with some conversation starters for our GPT. Okay, so the first conversation starter is going to be to design a prompt for AI to act as an expert research assistant for a field. The second one is to help us build a master prompt for a new initiative. The third one is going to be to create a prompt for brainstorming a new concept. And the last one is going to be if we give it a prompt and we ask it to analyze what we wrote and ask it to improve it based on the core concept. So there's 4 different potential conversation starters. These are just meant to be things that a lot of different people would ask this GPT or that we would ask that GPT repeatedly, the most common ways we would use it. All right, next we have knowledge. Now we also have the flexibility of uploading additional files to this custom GPT for additional context, but because all of the expertise is really baked right into those details instructions that I gave it, I'm not going to be uploading any additional files. Now here's something that just got released a couple of days ago. OpenAI released an update that now allows you to select any model for your custom GPT. This is huge. Before, custom GPTs were powered by the 4.0 model, but now you have ultimate flexibility depending on what model makes the most sense for your task. Now, if you select no model, then whoever uses the GPT can select whichever model they'd like to use with it. Otherwise, the model that you select will be the default when the GPT is opened. But yeah, you can now use different models within existing GPTs available in the GPT store as well. So that's pretty exciting. Let's get back to this. For a GPT like this, we can keep the other settings pretty simple. Under capabilities, we've got the web search, Canvas, 4.0 image generation, and the code interpreter and data analysis. So you might be going, what's the code interpreter or data analysis thing? Well, that allows the GPT to perform any analysis on any documents that you upload into its knowledge base. So if you want to have your GPT analyze PDFs or any other files that you upload into it, you need to have that box ticked. So to give ourselves ultimate flexibility here, I'm just going to leave all of these boxes ticked off. And then you're going to see the Create New Action button at the bottom of the page. This is for more advanced methods which involve writing code, which we're not going to be doing for this demo. Just an FYI that if you're using an existing GPT from the GPT store and it has custom actions set up on it, that you may be more limited in terms of what models you can actually use with it. So likely the 4.0 model. All right, so when you're all finished with inputting the information, we're going to click Create right here. And then you're going to have different options for how you can actually share the GPT. GPT. You can share it with only yourself. You can allow anyone with the link to get access to it, or you can publish it in the GPT store. I'm going to select only me for now, and I'm going to click save. All right, so our prompt blueprint is ready. To test how well it works, let's give it a real-world task that a marketer or a creator would actually do. Now, as you can see at the top of the screen, you can now select whichever model you want to use with this. I'm going to just leave the 4.0 model selected because that one's perfectly fine for what we're trying to do here. So for our example, we're going to create a brand mood board. This was actually one of the most popular use cases from my recent video that I did on Perplexity Labs. In that video, I created a detailed prompt for a men's cologne brand, and a lot of you found it really helpful. We're going to use that same idea today, but to keep things fresh, we're going to have our prompt blueprint come up with a prompt for a completely different product, a new women's athletic apparel line. What can I say? I love a good pair of leggings. So I'm going to say, I want to create a brand mood board for a new athletic apparel line. I want to have Perplexity Labs do this. I want the mood board to have pictures of what the brand could be, what the fonts could look like, what the digital presence could look like, the age of my target audience, 28 to 60. I want it to have a sleek look. Can you create a prompt that I can use? And we'll see what it comes up with. So you can see it's not writing the prompt yet. Instead, it's starting more of a collaborative process where it's asking me to provide the concept of the brand, the visual style inspiration, colors, tones, tone of voice, etc. So I'll give it the details that it needs now. All right, so I'm going to say here, in terms of style inspiration, Lululemon and Alo Yoga inspire my vision. Those are really nice. Color preferences would be neutral and cool tones. Tone of voice should be empowering and luxurious. I want website mockup and social media mockups. Line should include leggings, tops, outerwear, and sweatshirt and sweatpants. And at the end of this, I'm actually going to say, do you have all the information you need to give us a great prompt? And we'll see what it comes up with. Wow, look at that. Really detailed, really well done prompt. You can see that there's a persona, the senior brand aesthetic strategist. There's a mission here. It tells you the different elements to include in the mood board, the color palette, the typography, all of that stuff. Very good. Now let's actually put this into Perplexity and see what happens so we can see how well this prompt works. All right, so we're going to go to Perplexity's main page. I'm going to select that light bulb to go to Labs, and we're going to insert our prompt, and we'll see what it generates. All right, so here's the report. Ready? Wow. All right, so it looks very detailed, just like, the one that we did for the men's cologne brand in the other video. So far, so good. Looks good. We've got color palettes here, typography, pictures of different models and color tones that we kind of talked about in the prompt. That's really good. But what's really cool about this is I see a different tab that wasn't there before when I did the men's cologne example, which is the app tab. I'm going to click on that and see what happens. Wow, look at this. This is so impressive. This is an actual dashboard of a mood board with the exact categories we asked for right here in a click of a button, everything in one central space. This is actually better than the output that I got for the men's cologne example. Unbelievable. Really good. You got the cool tones there, the different athletic apparel items I asked for, the mock-up of the website and the mobile and all the digital stuff. Amazing. So you can clearly see that our prompt blueprint GPT works extremely well. Now, before you go run to build your own GPT, there's a few things that you should keep in mind to get the best results. Notice how in our instructions, we gave our prompt blueprint one clear mission: to architect prompts. We didn't ask it to write blog posts or analyze data. A GPT that does one thing perfectly is more useful than one that does 10 things poorly. My second tip is to test and improve. The first version of your GPT is almost never the last. Always run a few test queries to see how it behaves. The best GPTs are the ones you refine over time by going back and tweaking your instructions based on the results that you're getting. And my third tip is to be smart with your data. Remember that custom GPTs are not secure private databases. So I would avoid uploading any highly sensitive or confidential business information. For an extra layer of privacy, you can also go to Settings and then Data Controls, and then turn off the Improve the Model for Everyone toggle, which prevents your conversations from being used for general model training. I hope this guide was helpful, and if you enjoyed this video, then please show me your support by hitting the like button. It really helps the channel. And if you want to know more about how you can use AI every day, then click this next video.